understanding. And then when you read these scriptures, you check out current events around you on the news, and you place those current events in the scriptures. Well, this is the fulfillment of this, and that's the fulfillment of that. Now, give me the book of Obadiah. It's one chapter long. Give me the 7th verse.
The book of Obadiah, the 1st chapter, the 7th verse. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. The
bread represent the aid that you receive from the United States. Now the United States is downgraded from a AAA rating to a AA+ rating. So basically, they're going to start disrespecting you because you're going to cut back. The U.S. or Babylon's going to cut back on a lot of things, not just in the States. They're going to cut back on their aid to these different nations. And like the elder said earlier, the reason why they're allies with you is because they're getting something out of you. All right. Basically, these allies of the United States are fair weather friends. As long as you giving them aid, like Israel. Israel says good things about you because you're giving them billions of dollars a year. All right. Go ahead.
And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end, that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Every one of the mount, the word mountain represents kingdom, government, nation, empire. A big mountain represents an empire. All right, and you can't find any answers to get out of this dilemma that you're in. So things are going to get worse and worse and worse. And the final analysis, as I said earlier, is these ICBM missiles from the Russians and possibly the Chinese. And these other your allied nations, your European allies, they're going to all shoot missiles on you pursuant to Revelation, the 17th chapter, around about the 12th verse or so. Go ahead.
Obadiah, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them.
Yeah, when the Babylonians took us down, you Edomites would taking looting from us as well, and then you would point out which Israelites were trying to escape. So you became our enemies. You got these idiots, these clown Israelites out here that's bending over backwards for the sake of Esau, that he might be saved. And the scripture that they use, which they don't understand, is Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, and the 7th verse. And the word there is a rum for the Syrians. All right? So that's what you don't understand, because you other Israelite, you bootleg Israelite groups, you don't know how to go deep and search things. That's why you're stuck on stupid. That's why you got certain of them Israelite groups teaching that the white man are the sons of Japhet, because you're stupid, man. And the Most High is not dealing with you.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
So that's why you're no longer our brethren. You're no longer brothers of us. You know, Jacob, the story of Jacob and Esau. Well, Esau sought to kill Jacob. So why would we have any love for you, based on what your father did and what you did in history? So you gonna pay hard. You know, this is just the decline of your downgrade of your AAA credit rating is just the beginning. This is the beginning of the end of you damn devils. Actually, it began, really, if you want to get technical, it began 2,000 years ago with the Roman Empire. All right, another date you can use in the modern era, 1969, 1970, when you shot up your Apollo space rockets, your Apollo rockets. When you started to set your nest, these space stations up in outer space, that's when you started to go down. So now you're really going down fast. You can go back to
Second Esdras.
2 Esdras 15 and 53. If thou hadst not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of thine hands, and saying over their dead when thou wast drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance, the reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom. Therefore shalt thou receive recompense. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. And this is talking about payback, you know, and the reason why it's going to happen is because of what you did to the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. What you did to them, that's why you're being prepared right now, and you're going to pay for what you did to our people.
Yeah, you notice it says thy city shall be broken down. You got examples of that with Detroit. All right. What's the other city? That Gary, Indiana. And that's going to be the pattern, you know. All these so-called major cities, they're going to be pretty much done away with, you know.
It says, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water.
Yeah, a good movie to illustrate that is The Road. And another movie, too, is The Book of Eli, which shows you that Hollywood have picked up on this prophecy right here. That's what America is heading to.
Yep, it says, thou as unhappy shall come through the sea and receive plagues again. And in the passages they shall rush on the idol city and shall destroy some portion of the land. Now that scripture right there goes hand in hand with Ezekiel the 38th chapter, where it says where it says, enter thou into the city or into the village of unwalled cities, something like that, to that effect. The unwalled villages. Why? Because you have no defense against the nuclear missiles. Now we don't know if it's a fact or a rumor, but we just found out that Russia just shot down an ICBM Minuteman missile from the U.S. I don't know if it was 3 of them or 1 of them, you know, so we don't know if that's an actual fact or if that was just a rumor of war, you know, but the fact is that these other nations, they have defenses against your ICBM missiles, but you don't, right, and they have ICBM missiles too, but you don't have any defense against those missiles, because it says, and in the passages they shall rush on the idol city and shall destroy some portion of thy land and consume part of thy glory, and shall return to Babylon that was destroyed.
Yeah, another point that proves that this is the idol city. The average people of America have an apathetic attitude, all right? They don't give a shit about what's going on. They don't watch the news, and the news that they do get, even if they did watch the news, is all fluff, All right, they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They know nothing about their international bankers, the real controllers of what's going on behind the scenes. They're just lost.
These idiots of America, they don't understand the money system. They don't understand what real money is. They think having a stack of FRNs, which you call US dollars, they think that's actual money. They don't understand why prices are going up. They don't understand inflation. They don't understand hyperinflation. They don't understand history, how history works. Because this Barack Obama monkey came up out of nowhere, just like Adolf Schicklgerber. But because you don't know history, and because you watch the Super Bowl and the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, and the NBA and Jersey Shore, and the Illuminati probably set that up just to see how many of you people would get into that show. Those Italians in that series are stupid, man, with a capital S, and it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. You Italians out there should be embarrassed. But that shows the utter stupidity of an American.
And that's why you're called the idol city.
And thou shalt be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire, and shall consume thee, and thy cities, thy land, and thy mountains, all thy woods and thy fruitful trees shall they burn with fire. Thy children shall they carry away captive, and look what thou hast, they shall spoil it and mar the beauty of thy face. That's it.
Read that. Read. Okay. Okay. Read the last couple of verses in the 15th chapter.
All right. This is the 61st verse of the 15th chapter. It says, I'm sorry, I'll read 60 again. It says, and in the passage they shall rush on the idol city, and shall destroy some portion of thy land, and consume part of thy glory, and shall return to Babylon that was destroyed. And thou shalt be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire.
Yeah, that's talking about the nuclear missiles. And like Elder Tahar said earlier, the only way you would notice that it's talking about America is if you know the whole puzzle. See, the Bible is a puzzle, and you have to know the pieces, and you have to put it all together. You have to connect the dots for you to see the whole picture. So that's the only way you would know that this prophecy is talking about America.
It says, and shall consume thee, and thy cities, thy land and thy mountains, all thy woods and thy fruitful trees shall they burn up with fire.
And that's where you get that lake of fire that you people in the churches are talking about, which you don't understand. That's America being burnt on fire.
And that goes hand in hand with 2nd Esdras the 12th chapter, the eagle being cast on fire in the presence of the lion. Give me that. Also give me Daniel the 7th chapter and start at the 10th verse. The beast being on fire. All right, go ahead and get these two scriptures.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 12, verse 3. And I saw, and behold, they appeared no more, and the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then awaked I out of the trouble and trance of my mind.
Yeah, that's that's talking about the Roman Empire, but it's talking about the last leg of the Roman Empire, for lack of a better way of putting it. This is the last leg of the Roman Empire. There's two parts of the Roman Empire, so you can understand. You have the ancient pagan Roman Empire, which was received a deadly wound in one of their heads, but did live. That wound, them coming back to life, is talking about NATO, EU, and the United States, which is a member of NATO. And I've been saying this for years. I always bring this up. So that's that prophecy that we're reading about right now, and 2nd Esdras, the 12th chapter. That's what it's talking about. The last leg of the Roman Empire, because chapter 11 goes